Hi, welcome to this video where I'm going to show you how to make some really cute fake bake DIY gift tags that can also be used as an ornament. So no more throwing away gift tags. These are a gift and a tag all in one. These are wooden tags from Dollar Tree. And then I also have these round ones that I bought on Amazon. So I'm going to show you 5 different designs. This has the chalkboard finish on the front, so I'm actually going to make that as the back, because when I write to and from, I can just use either a white paint marker or a metallic marker, and it'll look cute on the back side as well. So first things first, I'm going to paint each of these the colors that we're going to design them with, and that way if any of the wood shows through, it won't look weird. So for the heart one, I'm going to use lime tree. And then one of the round ones is going to be pink parfait. And then this one is going to be classic caramel. And then I'm just going to paint one of them white. And then this final one, I'm going to paint red. For this red one, my goal is to make it look like a mug. Okay, so let's start with the green one. I'm gonna make this one look like a Grinchy theme. So we're gonna start out with some lightweight spackling. I'm just gonna put some into a little cup. So I'm gonna go in with that lime tree that we used, and I'm just gonna put a little in the spackling and then just mix it in really well. Make sure it's not streaky. So for this one, I'm gonna use this piping tip. Now these are mini piping tips. This one says K68 on it. It's a set that I got from Amazon, and it has a bunch of different tips in it. So it's really convenient for small projects like this. I also have a piping bag. So I'm going to take my piping tip and push it down into the piping bag all the way into the tip. And then I'm going to score a line right below where the openings are on the piping tip, and then I'll just push it up a little bit, and then I can cut right there. That'll make sure my piping tip doesn't fall through and that all of the openings are exposed. And then I'm just going to fill this with my green mixture. So now I'm just going to pipe by just squeezing the bag and touching it to the wood. And I'm making sure to leave the hole exposed. And then I have this red heart. It's a button that came from Hobby Lobby. And I'm just gonna put that right in the center. And then I have these candy sprinkles. So I'm gonna put a few of those on there. These came in a big set from Amazon. And I'll have a link to all of the stuff that I'm using in the description for you. You just need to push them down in there a little bit. And I'm just gonna leave that one just like that. Now, I still have some spackling in my piping bag here. So if you have extra and you wanna save it, you can put it in an airtight container. You need to use it within a few months though, or else it'll start drying up. So for this one, I'm gonna make it look like a lollipop. And so I'm just gonna be using my spackling white. If yours has a gray tinge to it, add a little bit of white paint and that'll fix it up. So I'm going to put a little bit of my spackling into a piping bag. For this one, I'm not going to use a piping tip, so I'm just going to use the bag as it is. You could also use a sandwich bag if you wanted. So I'm going to make that swirly lollipop look here. So starting in the center and then just working my way around. And then I'm just going to go back and fix any areas that didn't get enough or don't look quite right. And then I want to put some sprinkles on this one. So I have these bright colored sprinkles that I got from Amazon. This is also a large set of sprinkles. And don't worry about sprinkling too much on. If you do this on a piece of paper, wax paper, or something like that, you can dump them back into your container. And then I'm just going to kind of push in over the spackling to stick any of the ones that are touching it. Using my toothpick to fix up any areas I need. And then after this dries, we'll finish it to make it look like a lollipop. For this one, I think I'll try to do like a continuous pipe instead of the way I did the Grinch one. I covered the hole, but I'm just going to poke that through with a toothpick later. You can see here, I kind of went faster and went around, and it makes it more swirly. And then if you hold it and keep it still for a second while you're going around, then it makes it a little more roughly looking. So this one I'm going to do a gingerbread theme. So I have these little ornaments. They came from Hobby Lobby. They're just little gingerbread ornaments. If you happen to see them when you're at Hobby Lobby, snag them because they go pretty fast. But you can find similar things on Amazon. So I'm just going to cut off this ornament hanger, and then I'm going to put him right in the middle. And then I have this bag of candy canes that I ordered from Amazon, and it has small candy canes in here too. So I think those will be cute on there. Just press this stuff down pretty well so that it stays. And then it also has this one with some green on it, so I think I'll use that too up here. And then my set of Christmas sprinkles from Amazon has this one right here that has gingerbread men in it. So I'm going to use that one, and it has little gingerbread houses. So it's perfect for this gift tag. Some of the things I'm just going to strategically put on because I want to make sure there are some gingerbread men in there. And then it's hard to press these little things in without messing up the whipped cream. So I'm just going to push things down with my toothpick to make sure they're really stuck in there. Okay, so this one, I'm going to try something I haven't tried before. I want to make a chocolate chip cookie, but I want to make it out of spackling. I usually make them out of clay, and I just wanted to see if I can do it. So we'll see. I'm going to use my foam clay, and I'm just going to condition it, and then I'm going to add a little burnt umber. I'm going to use this to make the chocolate chips. And it may not turn out dark enough. We can always paint over after the chocolate chips are on, but I just wanted to give it kind of a base color and see if we can get it dark enough. But if you add too much paint to the foam clay, it starts getting like a weird texture and doesn't want to do anything. So we're not going to get too crazy with the paint. Yeah, so this definitely isn't going to be dark enough, but this will be good enough for now, and then we can go in and paint once we get them on there. So I'm just going to take a little piece off, roll it into a ball, and then I'm going to put it flat on my table and then just kind of squeeze the top into a point. So for this one, I am going to use a piping tip just because I want it to give me like some crevices in there and stuff. So I'm going to start with my spackling in a mixing cup. And to that, I'm going to add classic caramel. Okay, so I continuously piped, then I added a few little spots here and there. And so now I'm going to kind of smooth things down and see if we can get this to look like a cookie. Another thing you can do is kind of use a toothpick and make some lines and things like that in it if you want. And then I'm just going to stick my chocolate chips in. I think I'll put one upside down because, you know, they don't ever go in perfectly. So you have to kind of make it look realistic, put them in at different angles and stuff. Okay, so this one we're gonna let it dry, and then we'll go in and do some shading to make it look more realistic and paint these chocolate chips darker so that they look more realistic too. Okay, so the first thing I'm gonna do for this one is use my foam clay again, and we're gonna make some little marshmallows. So I'm just gonna take off little pieces. You wanna roll and press. So you have to press both ends into the mat and then just roll it the opposite way. I do have a video showing how to make marshmallows of different sizes. If you want to check that out, I'll leave it in the description for you. And just make sure your little marshmallows don't touch each other or they will stick together. You can also make these with polymer clay. So if you don't have foam clay and you don't want to buy it for this, same with the chocolate chips that we made, you can do those with polymer clay as well. For the hot cocoa, we'll be using caulk. And for this, I'm gonna use burnt umber and chocolate bar. And then we're also gonna add some gloss Mod Podge. There's no set amounts for these, the paint and the Mod Podge. Just keep in mind the Mod Podge will make it more liquidy, but if you mix it up and it still seems too thick, you can definitely add some more. And you wanna mix this so it's really smooth. So it's still kind of chunky here. We wanna keep mixing. And when it's wet, it's probably gonna look like it's not the right color, but when it dries, it will get darker. So for this one, I'm just gonna use a sandwich bag. So I'm just gonna put the caulk mixture into the sandwich bag. And then I'm just gonna cut off a little tip here at the end, and then we'll just pipe it on. Now I'm just gonna smooth it out with a popsicle stick. I'm still being careful not to cover that hole. And if you kind of just float the popsicle stick across, it gets a lot smoother than if you keep pulling it up. Okay, so now I'm gonna put some drips down. And then you can use a toothpick or a popsicle stick to just, if there are any spiky parts sticking up or anything. Then we're just gonna put our little marshmallows in. And I also have these like candy hot cocoa sprinkles, so I think I'll put some of those on there too. And then just use a toothpick to press this stuff down. I think I might hot glue a little gingerbread man on here just to make it a little more interesting. I actually don't think this looks like a mug at all. It just looks like I forgot to paint a spot. So I may just fill that in with red and just make it around with the drippy chocolate. And I think that would be a lot cuter. So once these have dried, it's probably gonna take at least a day for all of the stuff to dry. And then we'll come back and shade that chocolate chip cookie, finish off the lollipop, and get these ready to attach to some packages. If you're new to fake baking and you want to learn more about it, be sure to sign up for my newsletter, and you'll also get a free beginner supply list and some project ideas, a huge list of project ideas that you can make using those supplies. You can scan the QR code on your screen right now, or you can use the link in the description. So we just have a couple of things to finish up here on these gift tags. So the first thing I'm gonna do is shade my chocolate chip cookie. So for the shading, I'm gonna add a little bit of classic caramel, and then I'm just gonna add a little touch of this chocolate bar just to give it a little more darkness, and then just mix those together. And then I'm gonna add a tiny bit of this jack-o'-lantern color. The orange just gives it that warm look, so it has the baked look to it. So I'm just wiping out as much paint as possible from my brush, and then I'm gonna just go around the edge of my cookie very lightly. So we're dry brushing this on. And this is gonna make it look realistic. So I did all around the edge, and now I'm just gonna do some areas across the top. So See how that just transforms it and makes it so realistic. The other thing I want to do on this one is just darken up the chocolate chips. So I'm going to use burnt umber, and I'm not going to need much of this at all. And then I'm just going to add a little bit of gloss Mod Podge so it'll make them look glossy. And then I'm just going to go over the chocolate chips. For this one, we need to add our lollipop stick. So I just have a paper straw here, and I'm gonna cut it probably about halfway down. So then I'm just gonna make sure I have the hole at the top here, and I'm gonna glue my stick onto the back. So these just came with twine, and I'm just gonna go ahead and get them ready to hang. You could also use your own ribbon, but the ones I got from Amazon, these round ones, have a very small hole, so it's going to be hard to get anything too big through there. And then I'm just going to write on the backs of these with marker. You might even be able to write on them with pen, I'm not sure. And then they'll be the cutest little gift tags and something that they can use as an ornament later. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know in the comments which one is your favorite one, and I will see you in the next video.